We have more details that are coming out about an accused serial killer nabbed in Long Island. And then also in Alabama, a 25-year-old woman is back home after going missing for 2 days under unusual circumstances. But questions still remain on what exactly happened to Carly.
So the Hoover Police Department says they are still evaluating this case. In a statement yesterday, police say Carly is the only 911 call they received about a toddler wandering on the highway. Still, police say they are leaving no stone unturned. Russell's boyfriend wrote on Facebook that she was kidnapped and spent time, quote, fighting for her life. Investigators say they rejoice with the Russell family as they continue to rest and recover from this situation.
So we're going to bring in Scott Duffey, adjunct professor and co-director of Wilmington University's Criminal Justice Institute, to discuss these cases. So we're going to start with Carly Russell because this story, good morning to you, really took over. A lot of people resonated with it because it's something we can identify with, right? You're driving, you see what we were told was a baby in need, and she wanted to stop and help, and then we didn't hear from her again. And then miraculously, and also this is what we hope for when it comes to missing cases, she was found safe.
Yes.
What were your thoughts then? Because we're still learning the details. She has not spoken publicly about it. Police have been releasing statements. But what was the first thing that stuck out to you about her case?
So captivating, like anything else. You have a missing woman, you have a very successful professional. And once I believe I saw the traffic cam that was coming out, you have a car with the emergency flashers on. You have the car already in the traffic cam view, driving at a slow rate of speed on the shoulder. At what point is a 911 call being made? I do not know. At what point is a call to I believe it's the sister-in-law or the brother-in-law, but you have the car that then comes to rest, and even though it is poor quality, it does capture her car. And then you have, from what I could see, at least one figure, one silhouette from the driver's side going to the passenger side, and then you have plenty of vehicles that are moving over. Their high beams are shining the car. You don't see another car. You don't see any other figures. It doesn't mean that somebody does not come out of the woods. But I believe at that point, from my point of view, you have a car that is driving a good distance, maybe 100 or so yards, and at what point do you see whatever it is at the call to 911 is a toddler. If I were to see something that's going to catch my eye and I'm doing 50, 60, whatever it is, 70 miles an hour, I'm going to pull over, I'm going to come to a halt, I'm going to screech. The dexterity of being able to either make a phone call, put on your emergency flashers, all that comes into play. Law enforcement is looking at that.
Yeah, and that was the only 911 call, the only person who reported seeing a child. The surveillance video is certainly key, but as you mentioned, it's grainy. There are other items that were left behind, the AirPods, her Apple Watch, all traceable items. They were left behind at the scene as well. That stands out.
That does stand out. So let's say that it is what it is. It is a kidnapping. It is an abduction. And so somebody has the wherewithal to ensure that any tracking capabilities of the phone, etc., are removed from the victim, and that takes a little bit of time and effort, and then to leave them either in the car or near the car.
But that's a lot of what ifs. A lot of people saying perhaps the child was used as a decoy as well to lure her. And how do you begin? Because this is so sensitive. You want to listen to the victim. You want to hear their story. But at the same time, there are some doubts and some questions. How do you balance the two when it comes to an investigation?
So from the police side, they have to take it as fact. And so they are operating from the moment that they arrived, or from the moment that the 911 call came in, to every interview, that this is an abduction. And then you have the safe return, whether she broke free, wherever she was held captive, and then to be able to make her way home. Law enforcement is treating all of that. And they're not going to put out any statement if it goes to a different avenue. And so if you have from the family's standpoint, where it's, where's my daughter, help me find my daughter. Two, we're asking for privacy at this time. I do think says a lot.
Yes, and they said that the latest statement from the police department saying they're going to continue to investigate and release the facts as they get them. But they did mention they did interview her right after, before they took her to the hospital. And so they do have a statement from the family. But as we read from the boyfriend and the parents, they're saying, listen, she was fighting for her life, and we believe our daughter. And they want to give her time to heal and get over this before they make any public
I know
statements.
we want to move on to another case here, but quickly, and it could be simple yes or no. Does she have to comply with any additional interviews, polygraph by police?
I think the police already have a good idea of what has taken place. She is a victim, and so the police it's a very sensitive and very
it's a hard balance.
So I believe at this point you're going to see something more from the family that's going to come out to explain a little bit more.
Okay, speaking of things coming out, what about these Gilgo Beach killings? Rex Heuermann, who was an architectural firm in Midtown Manhattan. The neighbors say he was a quiet guy, a family man,
Successful.
and now look.
Wife and children.
Wife and 2 children, arrested, suspected serial killer. And it was interesting, it looks like it was a pizza box that led to his arrest.
Yeah, so the pizza box seems to be what broke this case, right? And this is, you'll see in any type of case, cold case, where a suspect has been identified, law enforcement needs to tie a key piece of evidence, and I believe in this point it was DNA. So you're going to follow an individual, you're going to look for a tossed cup, you're going to look for something of, if he's a cigarette smoker, you're going to look for a tossed butt, and so here they got lucky. They have a whole pizza box it's a trove of evidence, whether it be whatever he touched, to whatever he ate, and saliva in the box.
And so they tied that to hair that was found at one of the bodies
which
that was wrapped
had a key
up.
piece of evidence, or a key piece of DNA.
And to rewind just a little bit, this was in the Long Island area, and he apparently targeted sex workers, and there were a number of bodies. This could be a lot larger, this case. There could be other victims that they are now trying to tie to this suspect.
Oh, this is just the beginning, and I believe the 3 that he's been charged with is just the beginning of what I believe, not only in the Gilgo Beach area, but anywhere else that he had resided or had traveled to.
Because at this point it hasn't been confirmed, but there are some killings in our area, in the Atlantic City area, that they believe may be tied.
So you have the 4 women that were found, I believe it was 2006. And so any type of similar killing, any type of homicide, they are all going to be looked at with fresh eyes and looking for key pieces of evidence and to make those connections.
Multiple agencies now involved, and DNA evidence has really come a long way, and also cell phone evidence as well is kind of, they're calling it the new DNA evidence. Scott Duffey, good to see you. Appreciate your insight this morning.
Okay, we're going to take a break.